Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, finally, my Civivi Perfrico is an actual dagger, thanks to Kyle Kunle. I'm going to show you a new Civivi and a new Sen cut. And then I want to talk about justifying your ridiculous knife collection in 5 words or less. I have mine. I want to hear what yours are. Also, we will be giving away this knife right here. This is the Weppy Knives Defense Master, a beautiful clip point compound ground blade of D2 given to me by Dave of OG Blade Reviews. This is to go to you. He didn't give it to me. He's giving it to you through me. It's a nice, big, beefy, defensive folding knife. That's D2 blade steel and beautiful G10. We're going to be giving this away around, I don't know, 11:15, something like that. Of course, that's Eastern Standard Time, the only time to pay attention to. I'm just kidding, of course. But that's when we're going to be doing it. And I want to hear what your justification is for your ridiculous knife collection. I know it's ridiculous, maybe not as ridiculous as some, but definitely more ridiculous than others. And so we got to hear about why. Dion Page says, God gave man the need. That's 5 words. All right, Dion, nice to have you here, sir. The Equalizer 1327, nice to have you here, Equalizer. I make leather knife sheaths. Oh, nice, like custom ones. So, I have to have a bunch of knives to practice on. That's a great reason. That's a great justification, actually. When I was first making Kydex sheaths, and I haven't made one in a long time, I went through a whole bunch of knives. Marco, nice to have you here, Marco. Evening, Bob, Jim and Junkies. Evening to you, sir. Nice to have you here, as always. Mayor of Chrisville. I hope Chrisville is a lovely and peaceful place. 5 words. I don't have too many. Very good. Excellent, Mayor. Just like a mayor, you have justified very well. And denial is always the first strategy. Carino 1, nice to have you here, Carino. Hello, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My justification, I've always loved knives. All right, so in 4 words, I too have always loved knives. And, what more justification do you need? John Cox, nice to have you here, John. I like your picture. Financially irresponsible. Well, John, you wouldn't have all those sweet knives if you were financially responsible. You probably would only have 1 or 2, the amount that you actually need. Ginger Fisher 75, nice to have you here, sir. My problem, shut your hole. Excellent. All right. Well, I know you don't mean my hole. You mean the hole of the person that could be asking you this terrible question. Ed says, because I can. Well, that's good too, man. I like that. Because I can is pretty much what mine is. Mine is. Well, I'll let you know what mine is in a minute. Have a nice day. Nice to have you here. Good evening, Junkalos. My fireworks are I do what I want. I'm sorry. Or money. My money, not your business. So mine is great bartering in the apocalypse. Great bartering in the apocalypse. I have a lot of knives here. People are always going to need knives. At some point, all of the Walmarts and stores around here will be ransacked, and then I will have all these beautiful knives I could offer. I'll take a cow. Here, you can have this Desperado. This would be further down the line, of course. OG Blade Reviews, ancient religious icons. Excellent. Evening, junkies. Good to have you here, Dave. Dave, thank you so much for this Defense Master from Weppy Knives. We are going to be giving this away tonight to 1 lucky viewer. Just put #knife in the comment section below, and that will put you in the hopper for the drawing. Byron, Split and Slices, nice to have you here, sir. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Similar to Mr. Rexu, healthier than drugs and alcohol. And a lot of fun with drugs and alcohol, I hear. No, but that's a good one, Byron, definitely. Definitely healthier and more utilitarian. And these, they're not going to put you on Skid Row. They'll keep you off Skid Row. James Hart says, well, good to have you here, James. He says, evening all, staying sharp and rust-free. I am indeed. But that rust, maybe a little bit of patina, but not the red stuff. James says, the first thing I thought of when I saw that was, oh my God, I've been mulling over the 5 words. I can't really come up with anything better. Oh my God. James says, I've covered 3 walls of my bedroom with knives, swords, axes, and tomahawks, a spear, and 1 pole arm. Ooh, cool. Which pole arm? I'm curious. And in your answer, put my pole arm is, just so I don't space. And even though I swore not to buy another knife, guess what? I have. James, I'm with you, man. That thought is long gone and buried, old and cold. I'm not going to buy another knife. Well, I know I will. James says, oh, and the shelf unit in my bedroom is also covered in knives, axes, and tomahawks. I have to stop, but I can't. All right, well, let's keep this here just amongst us. I am James. I have a problem. I am Bob. I have a problem. Mike Hauser, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. My mouth says because it's cheaper than therapy, but my eyes are saying just, just the tip. I promise. Yes, sir. Just like Joe Biden when he was talking to Putin about Ukraine back in the day. Just the tip, and we won't do anything. Sword XXXY, nice to have you here, Sword. As always, a pleasure. He's got all these backslashes, and I'm not sure what that means, but it doesn't matter. It's just good to have you here with us, man. Terminator Joe, zombies, 1 word. I like it. Similar to my good bartering in the apocalypse. Sword XXXY says, good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Justify my collection. I've been collecting knives and weapons since the 70s. Man, the 70s. I've been watching a lot of clips from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love that movie. I love the 70s. I was there for the entire thing except for 1970 because I was born in 71. And I can even remember some of it. But man, I sometimes pine for what it must have been like to be a teenager in the 70s. What a great decade. I know it was fraught, but still, great decade. Craig Vincent, nice to have you here, Craig. Craig, you and several others who are probably with us right now, I have finally sent out stickers and coasters to. I'm sorry for the delay because, well, first I was waiting for coasters, then I ran out of stickers, and then I was waiting for stickers. And frankly, in between, I just was slacking. So, Craig, I sent them to you today. You have stickers and coasters coming, as well as 4 other people who, when your names pop up, I will tell you. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and all echelon of edge hogs. Yeah, I'm definitely an edge hog. Speaking of edges and cool knives, I've got the Boker Arbolito, Argentinian Arbolito Boker Bowie out. I love this thing because that's how junkies roll, says Craig Vincent. Exactly, sir. Mike Hauser says, clever comedy. The drier, the better. Keep it coming. Well, thank you, man. Oh, man, I need comedy tonight. I've been stewing. I'm not happy with where I live right now. I love my house. I love this, but just this whole area has been on my nerves today. Mark Ridgewell, easier to get than guns. Yeah, that's for sure. And let's see, don't run out of ammo. Yeah, that's a good one too. Terminator Joe says, I'm in my final hour at work. Terminator Joe, you can stop stalking your prey in 1 hour. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Work is one of those double-edged swords. It's like when you don't have it, you're like, oh my God, I need to get work. And when you have it, sometimes it can be flustering. But anyway, man, I'm glad you're almost done with your day. Go home, get something good to eat, and tuck into the rest of the show. Will B says, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Well, evening to you, Will B. Hope you're doing well. Benedict Odie, good to have you with us, Ben. Good evening, my knife people. Well, good evening to you, sir. Hope all is well with you. Marco says, Bob is correct. Eastern Standard Time is the only time zone. All right, Marco, I'm glad we're getting down to brass tacks. It is the time zone against which all other time zones are measured. Loser, nice to have you here, Lou. In 5 words or less, I do what I want. I like that. Amen. You're a brave man, Lou. You do what you want. Speak the truth. Timothy Chadwick, nice to have you here, Timothy. A good evening to you, Bob and Jim. Well, good evening to you, Timothy, and to the sheath hangers as well as those that fold. Oh, indeed. Indeed. I like the folders. I like the sheathed. I like them all. This Adder bites. Nice to have you here, Adder. Good evening, he says. Well, good evening to you, man. I hope you're doing well. Tim Williams, nice to have you. I love that coat of arms. That is splendid. My goodness, that is cool. Hey, Ollie says, well, hello to you, man. I hope you're doing well. Batitude 41. Attitude, nice to have you here. I like your husky, cute looking dog. Hi, all. My excuse, I gotta keep us safe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is a big part of it. Has to be a part of it. Triple EDC says, I have a problem. So maybe not a justification, but an explanation. And it's always good to know where people are coming from. Timothy Chadwick, justification, it's in my DNA. Tell me what you mean by that, Timothy. Do you come from a line of knife collectors, or are you a part Viking, or like what's the deal? Let me know what that means. Lou says Bob shaved. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I shaved. So it's my April ritual. I pretty much shave close to the first day of spring. I put it on right around my wife's birthday, so that's in the fall. And she calls me her. She's got two husbands every year. She's got clean shaven Bob, and she's got bearded Bob, who she calls Lars. So good for her. I have one wife all year, and man, that's all I need. She's enough for me. Speaking of which, we had an awesome laundry night the other night. Reminded me of why I love that woman. Jay Demeter, nice to have you here, Jay. Going up in value tomorrow. Five words, and I like that. Going up in value tomorrow. Indeed. Ground Fog, nice to have you here, Ground Fog. He gives me a wave. I wave back to you, sir. And Michael Upchurch, hello, #knife. And why is Michael putting #knife in his comment? Because Michael wants to win this beautiful Weppy Defense Master compound ground clip point blade with a full belly, big knife. It's about a 3 3/4 inch blade. This is a really cool one. Great jimping. Beautiful inlaid G10 here. Everything shaped nicely. Nice big finger choil. This beauty was donated to the channel by The Usual Source. OG Blade Reviews, Dave. Thank you so much for this, Dave. Adrian Fighter 35. Your stickers, etc. went out today as well. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My 5 words. I just love cool weapons. I do too. I'm not ashamed to say weapon. They're weapons. It's not like I'm some evil bad guy. I just like cool weapons too. I also like their potential to keep me and my family and those around me safe. Loser, I missed what you said there. Northern Knives, hello, Jim, Bob, and Junkies. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Happy Thursday Night Knives to you, sir. Tim Williams says, sharp things are attractive. Yes, they are. Yes, they are indeed. Sharp things are sharp. Donald Fry, nice to have you here, Donald. Were you on the list? I can't remember. Evening, everyone. 5 words. Needs less space than guns. Depends on how many you have. But I like that. If you had the same amount of guns as I have knives, you'd need an outbuilding. And I got to say, my best friend growing up, he's a great dude. He's still, one of the best people I've ever met in my life. We were traveling cross country, and we stayed at his uncle's house in an undisclosed state. This was years and years ago. And his uncle was a gun collector and had an entire outbuilding, a secondary building. It was like a little apartment, like a, what do you call it? Like a grandmother's suite, a mother's suite, in-law suite, whatever you want to call it. But it was a separate building. It had a kitchen and a bedroom and a living room and all that. And the whole thing was filled with guns. It was so cool. It was so cool. I'm not sure if that guy's still with us. If he is, he's probably figuring out on how to unload them all, as he's probably getting up there in age. But very, very, very cool. So yeah, I would agree with you. Takes less room than guns. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Is it Slavin or Slavin? Not sure. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Good evening, all. Well, good evening to you, Karen. There's no such thing as too many of a good thing. Plus, self-defense. #knife. I could not agree with you more. Those are the kind of knives I collect mostly. or the ones I like the most, though I love them all. Kyle, Kyle, I have evening, Senor DeMarco. He says, evening to you, Kyle. Hope you're doing well this week. I am doing great. I'm going to jump ahead of the pocket check to my second thing on the list, and let me show you this. This is the Civivi Perfrico. You probably heard me complain about this beautiful knife, and it is beautiful. I even love the quirky sheath. I know some people don't like the divots between, but the thing you heard me complain about is how could it be a dagger with one single edge? Well, on the recommendation of Shane of Edgy American Blade Works, I sent this to Kyle, and Kyle sharpened this for me and turned this into an actual legit dagger. And it is so sweet. Kyle, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking on this job. This is amazing. First of all, I mean, it is incredibly, incredibly sharp, like surprising, not surprising, but, you know, way sharper than the factory edge. It just glides through paper like it's not even there. But it's on both sides. I don't have to pay attention to where the jimping is, because the way it ships, this top edge is dull. And you're only supposed to know in the dark where this symmetrical blade is sharpened by this little jimping here and this little jimping here. And I just can't abide by that, especially having something super symmetrical with only a single edge sharpened. So Kyle did a beautiful job here. And Klingen, oh my God, I'm having a, Kyle, help me here. Did I put it in the notes? No, I just put sharpened by Kyle Kunle. Your company's name, Klingenwerks, is that right? Klingenwerks Sharpening. Oh my God, can he sharpen a knife? This is incredible. Not only can he sharpen an edge that already exists, but he put a beautiful edge on the back of this Civivi Perfrico. And now this knife truly deserves a spot in my collection. I am so grateful. Thank you, man. I was starting to stress about this. It's such an awesome knife, and to have a single edge is just weird to me, just weird. And I understand why they have to sell this knife in many a jurisdiction where double-edged blades are not permitted. But in this case, I just don't care. I think they're permitted here anyway. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about how terrifically sweet this knife is. I already loved it. And then I saw Peterbilt Knife Guy use his and do all sorts of crazy stuff with it. It's an ultra robust blade, but also now mine is double-edged. So there you go. Thank you so much, Kyle. And man, I love it. Put the name of your company and how people can reach you in the comments below. We'll put it up on screen and leave it up for a minute and let people see, because I don't know, you probably have a lot of work already. I'm sure you've got tons of work already, but hey, it doesn't hurt to have a deep bench of people waiting for a sweet edge. And a lot of people don't know who to send their knives to get them sharpened. So Kyle, please put your name down in the comments and we'll put it up on screen. Triple E EDC, nice to have you here. Justifying my knife collection, fidget toys for work focus. Yes, work focus. Yes, I agree. That's kind of the spot I'm in. Also, we are going to have Kyle. We're going to work out how we get Kyle on the show, and we'll show some sharpening tips. I'm working on an idea with Jim. For a deep cut, Jim. Victor Blades, nice to have you here, Victor. Paisan. Hey, Bob, what's up, Paisan? My 5 gorgeous and expensive, highly unnecessary. My 5 gorgeous and expensive, highly unnecessary. Yes, at a certain point, Victor, you got to just enjoy life. At a certain point in your life, you have to say, hey, I have this money, that I can be irresponsible with, and I'm going to buy these things because, damn it, they make me feel good. James Hart says, cold steel pole arm. One side is an axe, the other side is a hammer on a 5-foot-long ash pole. Okay, I used to have that pole axe, and I turned it into a smaller, I mounted it on a piece of Osage orange that I had seasoning here for years, and I gave it to a friend of mine who could definitely wield it. He was probably wielding a battle axe in another life. to sort of paraphrase Sin City. Ken Reed, nice to have you here, Ken. Good evening, fellow junkies. Well, good evening to you, Ken. It is a pleasure. Sword XXXY says the hashtag, or the, what are those called? The backslashes was my cat walking on the keyboard. I love it. I love it. I have such an awesome cat. She's beautiful. She is deadly as hell. As a matter of fact, we had a rabbit sauntering through our backyard before, and I was like, oh my God, what are you doing here? You are lucky Luna Cat is not out. And she's all mine. She's so affectionate. Not all mine. She's the family's, but she loves Poppy. Terminator Joe says, I won't buy another knife unless the price is right. The price is right, so I'm buying a new knife, which I did today. I bought two. Oh, Terminator, don't leave us hanging. What did you get, sir? Let us know. Let us know. Doug Bowles says, hi, Bob. Hey, Doug, how you doing? I sent you your stuff today, too, as well. I hate when people do that. Stickers and coasters. Sorry for the delay. Doug says, hi, Bob, Jim, and you junkies. Go ahead, make my blade. Indeed, make my blade. Just like Kyle did, he made my blade with this by sharpening it on both sides, and now it is actually a dagger and not a dino, a dagger in name only. David Nephilim Slayer. Nice to have you here, David. My pole arms that may be displayed publicly are the 19th century English lance and the Swiss halberd. Halberds are so cool. Are these cold steels or are they from a different company? I love halberds. They're just so cool looking. Karen Slavin says, I was a teenager in the 70s. Disco sucked. Thank God for Kiss. #knife. Absolutely. There was a lot of great non-disco music in the 70s. I remember my former aunt and my still uncle, they were disco king and queen. And oh man, I remember kind of knowing about that at the time, and they broke up, but crazy days, man. Yeah, they would have been a little bit older than you. They were adults in the 70s, but yeah, they went out to discos all the time, did lots of cocaine, apparently. And not that I'm spoiling any family secrets. I think that's probably well known at this point. But yeah, the 70s, wild times. I remember I was just recounting with my sister riding in the car with my former aunt. And I was with my cousin. We were going somewhere together. And it was a rainy day. The windows were rolled up tightly. And she was just like power smoking cigarette after cigarette. And I'm in the back like, oh my God. Because my parents didn't smoke. I wasn't used to it. 5-Door, nice to have you here, 5-Door. Greetings, Bob, Jim, and junkies. Well, greetings to you, 5-Door. Triple E EDC, 5 words, I get to complain online. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, exactly. This isn't sharp enough. This is only D2, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Let's complain about knives because everything else in our life is perfect. So let's complain about knives. Ira Hayes, nice to have you here, Ira. Good evening and happy Thursday Night Knives. Well, happy Thursday Night Knives to you, sir. I just took delivery of a cold steel long-handled Dragonfly Wakizashi. That Dragonfly line is for $266. Put an order in at Midway for a $69 S35VN 8010 Tonto. Oh my God. I feel like I won. Yes, sir. Well, you won doubly because that Dragonfly line, that's got the green wrapped handle, right? That's expensive, if I'm not mistaken. Greg Vanderlip, damn, nice to have you here, sir. Because I wanted to have it, he says. Greg, I say Vanderlip, damn, because my favorite movie of all time is Chinatown. And in Chinatown, there's an issue discussed about the failure of a dam that flooded out a whole town. And the dam is called the Vanderlip Dam. So when I see your name, I think of my favorite movie. So nice to have you here. But yeah, good 5 words. Craig Vincent says, that's okay, Bob. We'll call it even. I have several knives put aside to send to you and haven't gotten around to it. I guess I'll have to pony up when the stickers come. No, man, you only when you feel like you want to. For me, it wasn't that I felt like I didn't want to. It was just, yeah. Well, anyway, things got compounded, and I finally got my head out of my tuchus and got things taken care of. Terminator Joe says, my warrior spirit says so. I like that. That's a good 5 words too. We should do next time. We should do what's that? Oh my gosh! All right, I'm having a senior moment. The Japanese poem, 17 syllables, 3 lines. What's that thing called? We should do one of those. Angelo says, good evening, Angelo. Nice to have you here, sir. Cat Scratch, good to have you here, Cat Scratch. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to you. I was just talking about my cat, Luna, and what a deadly little sweetheart she is. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. Love to waste money. Is it a waste, though? If you can trade it for, say, a suckling pig after the apocalypse, is that a waste? I don't think so. And that's a good way to justify it to your significant other. If you start to hear guff about your knife collection, just say, look, baby, this is the ultimate insurance policy. Yes, we have insurance, but that stuff won't pay when the apocalypse happens. What will pay are these knives and swords. We can take these, we can trade them, and we'll be in good stead. I've never said that, believe me, but I bet it works. Triple E EDC says 5 words. I already had that one. Indeed, I already had that one. Let it go, and now I'm buying it back. 5 Door says, I make bad, awesome decisions. You do make bad, awesome decisions. Or no, you make awesome decisions. 5 Door, if you're not following him on Instagram, you must. He's got a killer knife collection, as I'm sure most of us do. 1931 Leatherworks, good to have you here. Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you. Hope the world is treating you well. Greg Vanderlip says, just hitting the like before bed. Enjoy the live, everyone. Smash that like button. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. I can tell from your face you are a kind gentleman and a scholar. I appreciate you, sir. Thanks, and have a great night and weekend. Ghost Keeper, also a great name. Reminds me of a cool song called Ghost Keeper. Good to have you here. It is better than cocaine. Yes, it is. Hell of a drug. But knives, it's a hell of a tool. I'll tell you. Okay, I got to get this. I got to put some others out. I got a bunch of knives in front of me, and I'm just blabbing. I'm going to put this out here. Ken Reed says, need to reach knife goals. Yes. There are plenty of knife goals. I've got them. You've got them. We've all got them, and we just have to get to it. Backwoods Bastard FKA Spectre 540 Hemi. Nice to have you here, Backwoods. Never runs out of ammo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Never runs out of ammo. I couldn't agree more. Ira Hayes says, Lynn Thompson says he has 600 plus guns. I believe him. Oh, my God. Imagine what his knife collection is like. I know he's got... Oh, I'm so sorry. I know he's got historical knives and swords and other kind of melee weapons beyond all of his modern day knives and swords. Timothy Chadwick, nice. Did I greet you? I think I did. It's just something about the making and use of blades throughout the centuries to the modern era that captivates one. I couldn't agree with you more, Timothy. It's cool to look at knives throughout history, know what their use and purpose was, and it's cool to find out how they were made, certainly. Lou says, oh man, somebody already had my answer. Okay, new 5 words. Can't stab with a spoon. That's true. You can with this, though. A2D, double-edged fighter, medium-sized. I don't think he's making these anymore. He's just doing his awesome folders, but I'm so glad I have this thing. Todd Carr says, evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Todd. Always a pleasure. Joseph S., good evening and peace. Yes, peace is a big part of it. Joseph, nice to have you here. It's kind of that peace through superior firepower thing, or an armed society is a polite society. I honestly really do believe that. I mean, look at the disarmed societies. It doesn't go so well for them. So thank God we got our Second Amendment. Klingenwerk Sharpening is Kyle Kunley, and he is the one who took my Civivi Perfrico, funny name, and turned it into an actual dagger by sharpening the back edge. That's this one right here. And by sharpening, he sharpened both of them, and it is an absolute razor. And in doing so, all 4 edges, because it's a dagger, all 4 edges are exactly perfect and even. I have looked and scrutinized, and even if they weren't, I still would be grateful for him turning this into an actual dagger. But every edge is perfect, and there's no smile at the termination. It's all so good. So check out Kyle Kunle, Kling & Work Sharpening, and you can find him on Instagram. I'm not sure if that's the best place to reach out to him, but that's how I reached out to him. And so check him out there. He really, really crushed it. And I have several other knives that I should probably send his way. Have a Knife Day says, aha, I'm back. Had dinner with friends. How nice, man. That was a quick dinner. I feel like we were just talking a half hour ago. What did you have? Let me know. Judging from, when I shook your hand, I would say you had like a tomahawk steak and like 6 eggs and an avocado, something like that. Because if you don't know, Have a Knife Day is, he's built like he's in the 82nd Airborne. Todd Carr says, Kyle didn't sharpen it. It was his army of elves he keeps in his basement. Yes, no doubt, man. Small hands do good work after all. Yeah, some sort of magic elf down there hooked it up. S. Hines, nice to have you here, Mr. Hines, or presumably we'll call you S. Good to have you here, S. What do you think of the Medford Marauder stonewash blade and handle in S35VN Tonto? I think it's awesome. I like the Marauder MIDI. I had that one, but I love the overall design of that knife. And I'm not a huge fan of all Medfords, but I do like the Marauder and its smaller MIDI version. I love the profile of it. And as far as I'm concerned, Tonto, yes, all the way. Tonto. I like his Tontos, Medford's Tontos. And then a titanium handle, absolutely. Though you might find it's a little big and heavy. If you're talking the regular Marauder, it's still going to be a pride of ownership piece for sure. Chris229, nice to have you here, Chris. Evening, everyone, he says. Well, good evening to you. Nice to have you here. Seth Lang, hello, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hello, Seth. Hope you're doing well. Cheers to all of you. Cheers to you, man. I'll salute you with my coffee. I have coffee and not enough water tonight. I forgot to refill my water. Kling & Work / Kunle is as good as it gets. A true artiste. Yes, indeed. I would agree. Man. I couldn't say more than that. Split and slices. So we are talking about, I'd love to have him on the show in one capacity or another, showing sharpening tips. Of course, he's not going to, you won't be Kyle Kunle just from watching him sharpen, but you can develop good habits. Split and Slices says, Old MacDonald likes his knives, E-I-E-I-O. Indeed. E-I-E-I. That's 6 words. And then E-I-E-I-O. I'm not sure if that's a word, but we'll let that slide. Since you used ol and not old, we'll consider that a contraction and not an actual word. S says, speaking of work, I've been working with knives for 31 years now, and I'm kind of dry right now. Anything from sharpening, restoration, repairs, and making them. Really? Wait, speaking of work, I'm going to reread this. Speaking of work, I've been working with knives for 31 years now, and I'm kind of dry right now. Anything from sharpening, restoration, repairs, and making them. S. Hines, I'd love to see the knives you make. That's really cool. 31 years. So you presumably know what the hell you're doing and know your way around a knife. I'd love to see the knives you've made, sir. Victor Blades, I hear you, brother, but does anyone really need 150 knives? Yep. At least I would say, because I'm thinking, and I mean, need? This is not a need issue. This is a want issue. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is a want issue. And does anyone want 150 knives? Yeah. I mean, though, I got to say, I would love to pare down. It's just very hard to decide what to pare down. And right now, no fixed blades are going. I can't get rid of fixed blades right now. And very few of my folders. So, yeah, I'm going to have to be with my 150 plus knives. And that's a big plus. OG Blade Review says, been getting ready to add an edge to my Tiger Stripe Perfrico. Now you put me over the edge. Yes, Dave. Yes. Oh, Dave got the cool, super cool one with the maroon handle and the chevron pattern down the blade. Yeah, that chevron pattern is begging for a secondary edge. Am I right? Yes, of course. Of course I'm right. And by the way, I love the sheath. I know I said it before, but I think it's cool. Todd Carr says, my five. They keep multiplying by themselves, of course. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You put them in the drawer and you open up the drawer and suddenly, like a month later, you got more. Where are their knives? My justification. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Yes, indeed. That's a good one. That's a good one. We were just talking about that movie last night, my wife and I. We had an excellent laundry night last night, and somehow that came up. Oh, I know why. I know why. But great movie. Doug Bowl, Bob, last Friday I was trying the tomahawk at my local knife throwing club. I love that you have a local knife throwing club. You could end it right there, but let's keep going. It cracked near the blade. To replace it, I'm sending a 4-foot authentic Irish Blackhorn shillelagh made walking stick. Holy mackerel. Oh my God, that is so cool, dude. Oh, that is so up my alley. And Blackthorn, gorgeous. Man, Paul, you are an endless font of cool stuff. My goodness. Wow, thank you, man. Kevin Santer, nice to have you here, Kevin. Hi, everybody. Hello to you, Kevin. Good to have you here, and your 2 microtechs. Have a Knife Day says, Bob, did you ever watch Romper Room? Yeah, yes, I did. I see Jimmy, and I see Benny, and I see the whole magic mirror time when the hostess says people's names reminds me of this. Yes, sir. That's funny, man. No one has ever compared Thursday Night Knives to Romper Room, but I am here for it, as the kids say. That's funny. Someone once said it reminds them of Cheers. Hey, Norm, you know, when someone walks in. Cat Scratch says, NKD today. No Knife Day today? Oh, no. New Knife Day. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yes, Cat Scratch. So I've had a page. Okay, New Knife Day today, a Frank Beltram 11-inch switchblade, comma, impressive. All right, Cat Scratch, sell me on this. I've had, since I had Jeremiah from PVK on the show, I've had a PVK page open. Right now, I have it right here with an 11-inch Frank B. Italian Stiletto 11-inch bayonet blade, Brazilian horn, 28 centimeters. So beautiful. Should I get it? Should I get it? Let me know. Should I get it? I think I should. I mean, from what you just said, it sounds like I should. Wait, where's my window? Oh, there we go. StreamYard. I'm very happy you brought that up. This kind of puts a fire in my belly for it. And yes, tell me how much you like it. Is it sharp? I know that Jeremiah had to put an edge on his. I don't really care much about that. But is it a stout build? Let me know what you think. I know you said impressive, but get more specific, because I am right on the edge of buying that knife. Terminator Joe says, I bought a Snake Eye Tactical Hunting Raptor. Ooh, what's that? And a Cold Steel Black Talon 2 with a plain edge. I love the Black Talon 2, but what's this Snake Eye Tactical Hunting Raptor? I'm fascinated. That sounds just about right. So that's in your two knife, Dave. 5 words, Doug Markida. It will kill. Yes, indeed. Do you ever hear how Doug, when he spells it Keal, not Kill, because somewhere along the line, he did a little bit of public relations research, and he's like, maybe I need to turn this into keep everyone alive, keep everyone something living, keep everyone alive and living. I don't remember exactly what it is, but Keel now stands for something a little bit less aggro than just kill. It's like keep everyone alive something. If you know out there, let me know. Occasionally, Tomas Alas watches this show, and if he were here, he would know because he's good buddies with Doug Marcaida. Sean Clark says, keep everyone alive. Okay. Keep everyone alive. Heal. I guess the A and the L of alive are the last two letters. Keep everyone alive. Sean Clark says, that's what the wife says when I buy another knife. What is it? What does she say? What does she say? Terminator Joe says, a free D-Bad Gladiator and Scourge Kukri from Kukri House. Wait, not free. A free D-Bad Gladiator and Scourge Kukri from the Kukri House? It can't be free. Oh, I got 2 free blades from my lap. What? How did you get 2 free blades? Terminator, have you been ordering from them a lot? So they're like, let's give this guy free blades. Let me know because I will start doing that. And I got to say, I absolutely love your handle here. Relentless Audits. Relentless Audits. Good to have you here. Hello, Knife Junkie. I'm a new knife collector. Well, welcome to the fold, sir. It is a proud and happy bunch. I just got back from buying things I need to restore some project knives I bought from eBay. Ooh, cool. Tell us what kind of project knives? Are you talking about old owned knives? I love buying old used knives, and you're restoring them or what? And also let us know how you got into knife collecting. I'm very interested in finding out. Relentless Audits. I love it. Jesse, nice to have you here, Jesse. Evening all, he says. Well, good evening to you, sir, with that crow pecking out the eyes of that poor sucker. Paul Mills, nice to have you here, Paul Mills. Bob DeMarco, he says. Paul Mills. Victor Blades, hey, Bob, my Rob Johnson cedar arrived yesterday. My goodness, what a knife. I had the cedar as well on the budget side, picked up a Kaiser Cormorant, fun flicky knife. I think I remember the Cormorant. What is the cedar? Rob Johnson cedar. I got to know. Button smashed, he says. Relentless Audits. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Do let us know what you mean by project knives. Give us some examples. Fred Ferbemeyer. Nice to have you here, Fred. Faux becauser words. Faux becauser words. Couldn't have said it any better, Fred. Terminator says, peace sells, but who's buying? Yeah, no kidding. Have a Knife Day says, nobody challenges people to duels anymore, and it shows. No kidding, man. No kidding. Man, I don't remember what it was, but I was scrolling through Instagram, trying to look at all of your knives, and I saw some prank video where someone goes up and just slaps a dude. Like, that's not a prank. That's assault. And then they say, oh, it's a prank. It's a prank. Well, no, no, it's not. Relentless Audit says, I really need some guidance so I don't spend too much money, especially on mistakes. Yeah. Relentless. This might sound counterintuitive, but the place to start, and I'm just saying this off the top of my head, I haven't thought about it much, but I have bought a lot of used knives and I bought a lot of new knives. And I would say, find something that you like that's new from a legitimate dealer, online purveyor like Blade HQ or Knife Center or Midway or Chicago Knife Works or one of those places. Buy a couple of knives, kind of figure out what you like, and then start looking at older ones. Because if you don't know the market well, the knife thing well yet, it's going to be hard for you to judge if that person on eBay is just trying to get one over. And I've seen so many knives on eBay that I'm, either interested in or just scroll by where I'm like, what? Like, no way are they selling it for that, because it's just not worth that. And anyone who knows would know that. So I would say it's helpful to look at, and Amazon is also a great place to look there, and to look on Blade HQ and Knife Center and DLT Trading and all these places, and kind of get a feel for, you can buy some first of all, and get some brand new knives that are, current, and kind of gauge their quality and how well they cut, and use them for stuff and test them out and stuff. Kind of familiarize yourself with a somewhat of a price structure. I don't buy exotic cars, but I know Ferraris are 6 digits, and this day and age, they're probably like $250,000 or something like that. So familiarize yourself with the general waters you're swimming in, and then start looking at some of the older stuff if you're still interested in those older models, just so you have some idea. Because some people, just are selling stuff, and either they're trying to get one over, or they don't know what they have, and they're trying to sell it for too much. And this way, it takes some of the guesswork out, and you'll learn to really enjoy what you got, and then you'll explore the used market from there. Anyone else agree with that assessment? That's pretty off the cuff. I've never actually thought about it until you mentioned that, but it just seems to me like that's the way to go. Because it's hard to give advice on any one given used knife without seeing it, without knowing the condition of it, and that kind of thing. Ginger Fisher says, hello and good night. One word: disembowelment. Game over. Oh, man, Ginger, well, have a wonderful night and a great weekend. And thank you for your input, but don't let disembowelment be your word of the weekend. Please let it be fulfillment, joy, journey. Have a nice journey this weekend. And if not a journey, have a hike. If you don't know by now, I really bristle at the use of the word journey in its current state. It's like epic. Like epic was just taken and abused and slapped around. Same thing with journey. I'm on a weight loss journey. No, you're losing weight. Journey is like, if you can replace it with the word voyage, then you're on a journey. Paul Mills says, if I get another Medford, it's going to be a slim midi. That is such a fine knife. And I had one, and I got it from Watch and Cut. And man, I wish I never got rid of that. But I guess it funded a great other knife that I still might have. Have a Knife Day says, we were in Arkansas last week for the James Black Bowie Heritage Festival. How freaking cool. Met a lot of people and purchased 2 knives, a San Mai Damascus Bowie and a Remington Bullet 2-blade slip joint. How cool. I love the Remington Bullet. I have a GEC, not send up, but tribute to those knives. Ron Crow, nice to have you here, Ron. Hey, fellow knife junkies. Well, hello to you, Ron. It's good to have you here. Strings, what's up with you, man? What's up, Bob, Jim? I just realized I showed 2 of the knives you and I traded for recently already tonight. What's up, Bob, Jim, and all you knife junkies? Just pulled the trigger on a Chavez Redención 229 kickstop. Congratulations, man. That's a fine, fine knife. Ouchie EDC. I love the design of the Chavez knives. Ouchie EDC, good to have you here, Ouchie. All right, I think it's time. I think it might be time. Jeremy Nedro, I collect knives. Why not? My 5 words. Exactly. Why not? How about off my back? Love knives. Fred Ferbemeyer says 4 words, because I like them. And I might add 2 more. 150 knives. That's not even one for every day of the year. I know, Ira. It's kind of a crisis. It's kind of a crisis situation. That's why I've upped my game. Reverse Polarity. Good to have you here, Reversed. I think I have about 30 blades of shapes and types. I never sell any of them. They all serve a purpose. We've run into a number of people who don't sell any of their knives, and I think that's awesome. I've sold some, but not as many as I should, I feel. Stephen Clayton Jr., nice to have you here, good sir. Hope to see you at Blade Show this year. Good evening, everyone, he says. Cup of coffee. Here, I will salute you with my cup of coffee. Oh, I did something today. I got one of those mushroom coffees. I'm going to see what that's all about. My wife has been drinking them for a long time, and I've been like, mushroom coffee. I love mushrooms, but let's keep them away from my coffee. So I got actually a mushroom hot cocoa. So I didn't really go against my word, but I am curious, so I'm going to check it out. Craig Vincent says, I got 1 or 2 knives a decade from age 11 until 61 in 2022. Now I'm a junkie who's acquired over 500 knives. None have made it into my will. The estate probate knife fight ought to be a good one. I love that. I love that. I put that in my will. It's for my daughters to split amongst them, and they've already put dibs on several knives, so they're already fighting over them. All right, guys. That said, let's get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
Front right pocket today, I had the Resco Instruments Gooseworks Knife Company Mekong Delta Combat folder. Probably the longest name of any folder I have in my collection. One of my favorites. I love this damn thing. I was looking online today for the micarta. They did 2 runs of this with micarta and hollow ground blade. This is full plain Jane blasted titanium with a saber ground blade. This thing is great. It's very sharp, ultra robust, beautifully made. This one by Best Tech, though it's made by Resco Instruments, the makers of high performance tool watches used a lot by Navy SEALs. They are fine looking watches. And I like to tell the story. I was under the impression that this was made by some barefoot frogman in his basement in North Carolina, but it wasn't. And maybe it was designed that way, but made by Best Tech, which is just fine by me because they make an awesome knife. This has the feel, it feels similar to a Sabenza. It feels similar to a Spartan Harsey folder. It feels similar to it doesn't feel similar to a Hinderer, but in the same class. But those last 2 knives, it really has that sort of feel. So I was willing to believe that that's what the deal was with this. It's a little schmutzy. I got to clean it off. This is a great knife, and I feel really lucky. Mike of Luck Knives introduced me to this with a video. I ran out and got one. I didn't run out. I went to the internet and got one, and now they are sadly very difficult to find. But what an awesome knife that is. So I had that in my front right pocket. So I've been carrying, where did I put it? Oh, here. Recently, I've been carrying the Vampire fixed EDC a lot. I did not carry this today. I was inspired to carry the slip joint Vampire. Wow, the spring on this is so stiff. This is from the first run of the Vampire Jack. What a great knife. I love this deeply hollow ground spear point blade. It is beautiful. This is from back the M390 days. And this was my first Jack Wolf knife with the carbon fiber, that dark matter purple carbon fiber, little tiny hints of purple. Beautiful, beautiful knife. The walk and talk on this thing is truly insane. I mean, the spring strength is very, very strong. It is a beautiful knife. And I also have that knife from the second run, which was in the jigged titanium. Very, very beautiful. Next one, this is an interesting coincidence. I was carrying this after not carrying it for a while. This is the Auxiliary Manufacturing Pocket Bowie XL. And today, as I was scrolling on Instagram while something was rendering at work, I saw that they have a folding version of this knife coming out. Of course, the smaller pocket Bowie version of this XL, but it looks basically the same. So they have a little flipper coming out. It's got the same coffin style handle. But I believe it's the size of the original Pocket Bowie, which is 1 inch off the blade and 1 inch off the handle. So it looks friggin' awesome. I'm very excited for that to come out. I'm going to put this way so you can see the name, Auxiliary Manufacturing. This one I wear in the waistband in the 3 o'clock position. I've been hitting my burpees hard, and soon I'll be comfortable with appendix carry again. It's happening. I can feel it. Perhaps it's the one day of drinking mushroom coffee. And then last up for emotional support, my ESK today was the Smatchet from Mike Wallace, designer, and APOC Survival, a Cass Iberia company. I just interviewed a gentleman from Cass Iberia / APOC, Patrick Shipley. It was a great conversation. That'll be up on Sunday. We talk all about the APOC Survival knives, as well as Cass Iberia and the swords and the history of Cass Iberia and all of that. Really cool guy, great conversation, making some really cool knives with the likes of Mike Wallace and Andrew Demko and others. So that's what I had on me today. Let me know what you had on you. My ESK was the Smatchet, double-edged, ready to go, just in case, in my bag, not on my person. On my person, I had the Auxiliary Manufacturing Pocket Bowie XL. That's a 4-inch blade, by the way. Beautiful knife, 8 inches overall. I had the marvelously walking and talking Vampire Jack, first run from Jack Wolf Knives. And then one of my favorite folders of all time, the Mekong Delta Combat Folder from Gooseworks / Resco Instruments. Great knives. Great knives. I just said knives. Great knives. What about you guys? What were you carrying? Fred says, cannot make up my mind. That's fine. Yeah, that's right. Autumn Wind. Hey, Bob. Well, good to have you here, Autumn Wind. Hello, all, he says. Bowie and Beyond. Great name. Great avatar. Alive longer. Oh, yes, yes. Keep everyone alive longer. Yes, thank you. Keep everyone alive longer. You're right. Mr. Greg T, nice to have you here, Mr. Greg T. What up, Bobby? Or what's up, Bobby? Not much, Greg. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. Carrying all the blades you'd like to be. OG Blade Review says, have you seen the 3 Sachs fixies made by new German knife company Berserk? No, that sounds nice. That sounds real nice. Sachs fixies by a German company called Berserk. Yeah, that sounds too good. Too good to be true. I have not seen them. Maybe if Jim has a spare second, which I know he won't because he's putting up these comments as fast as he can. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, what's up with all you amazing knife junkies? Hope all is well. Hope you're doing well, Angry Tom. And you too are an amazing knife junkie. Oh. It will kill shirt. It will keep everyone alive. Okay, everyone alive. Presuming, yeah, and that's on the Doug Markida page. There you go. Keep everyone alive. All right. Sean Clark says, wife says, can you also look up Berserk blades while you're at it, Jim? I want to see what these Saxes look like that Dave was talking about. Sean Clark says, wife says, it's a waste. I tell her don't ask for one during the zombie apocalypse. Exactly. Honey, can you hand me that Bowie knife so I can, behead this zombie? No, I thought it was a waste. Go get your gardening shears. Thought it was a waste. Terminator Joe says, I need a new sheath for the Krogel. I think that's a typo. So sharp it tore through the sheath. I hope they make Kydex. And they had to buy 2, get 1 free sale. Bought 4. Oh, I got you. So I got 2 free. I got you. All right, you're talking about your Kukri House knives. That's so cool. CFR quintuple O. CFRU. Heel helps to keep your knife from capsizing. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Keel. Have you ever heard of keel hauling? Oh, my God. That's a nasty punishment. If you don't know what keel hauling is, look that up. Sean Clark says, after watching PVK episode, looking at Bally songs now. Thanks, Bob. Hey, you're welcome, Sean. I'm glad I unlocked a new door for your knife addiction. Or Jeremiah. You can blame Jeremiah. Look at the 29 knives. 29 Knives. That company, holy crap. That knife maker whose name I now forget, but he makes the most beautiful custom belly songs with all sorts of exotic Filipino style blades. Oh my God, so cool. But they're all over $1,000. Paul Mills says sometimes you can find good deals on eBay, but not usually. Yeah. Sometimes, like, I found a great deal on eBay. Let me put this away. This Mike Wallace APOC Bowie thing is awesome. I got a great deal on this on eBay, and it's almost done smelling like the guy's basement from whom I bought it. This is the Black Bear Classic from Cold Steel. That beautiful sub-hilt fighter. What a great knife. This thing feels so good in hand. And I got that in the leather sheath that I wanted for a really good price. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, I've done the eBay auction a couple of times on blades. Ooh, excuse me. I got a yawn and a cough at the same time and stole it from somebody at the last minute. That's a great feeling. You're a sniper, Angry Tom. I think they call you, I think they call people who do that snipers. Thomas McDonald, nice to have you here, Thomas. Sadly, have to watch out for clones on Amazon. That is true. I've heard that. I don't think I've experienced it. And if I have, what a good clone it was. But what companies do you think they clone the most? Kyle Coonley, Ferraris are starting at 400,000. Oh yeah, I guess I got mine back when they were only $250,000. For the cheapy chick car, I think I saw one of those today. There's a Ferrari I've never seen before. It was kind of shorter and it almost looked bubbly, but it almost looked like one of my favorite Ferraris of all time, the Daytona. But it was a hard top, and it looked kind of like a Jaguar XKE too. I'm sorry, Jim, can you go back? I just want to finish that comment. Ferraris are starting at 400,000 for the cheapy chick car, and 650 to $1 million for most current stuff. Holy shit! And they are also very kind of like Rolex. They're very selective with who they sell their new product to. They're not just gonna sell it to any old schmuck who's got the money. Unlike Lamborghini, they'll give you a chrome Lamborghini if you're rich enough. Jammin Parker says, just tuning in. Jammin, good to have you here, man. Evening, everyone. 5-word justification for my collection. Awesome blades to pass down. Very good. I like the way you're thinking. This is a multi-level justification because that's actually justification that the rest of the family will buy in a lot of cases. Loser says, I hate knife journey and design language. Interesting. Knife journey, I despise. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that, but design language, I don't bristle at design language, but now maybe I will start. Oh, thank you, Jim. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, I've seen their logo before. Oh, those are so darling. The little one is so sweet and precious, and that big one is just gnarly. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks cool. Berserk blades, Saxes. I'll take the big one, thanks. Ergonomic design, development, very nice. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Whew, cat scratch, not too sharp, better built than expected. Love the action and the sound. And that was, I'll remember in a second. Todd Carr, Thomas McDonald, most definitely eBay, Facebook, Etsy. Also can be shady places to buy. Certainly Reddit ones as well. Blade binge at past, you're protected against fakes. At least I think you're. Yes. All right. Wait. I haven't done enough plugging of this because we have to give this away. This is the Weppy Knives Defense Master. So this was given to us by Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Look at this thing. This is a David Chen knife. David Chen designed this, and I believe he has, if Weppy is not his company, he's got a lot to do with it. But look at that gorgeous compound ground Bowie or clip point style blade. It's got a continuous belly, nice generous finger choil. That's a, why guess? It is a 3.75-inch blade. You've got a really nicely contoured and chamfered G10 handle. Maybe that's not the right word. Maybe neither of those are the right words. Instead of, it's you can see it's convex here, concave there, I mean, and then a beautifully inlaid green portion of G10. Feels great in hand, nice big knife, and has awesome action. Also good jimping if you're a fan of that. Okay, so interesting little fun fact here. We have 94 watching and only 34 people want this knife. So you 34, you have a great chance of winning this. So if you're one of the 94 watching this and think you just want to win a free knife, I pay for the shipping. Dave already paid for the knife. So all you get is a free awesome knife. Say this is not your cup of tea. You can give it away to someone, a friend. You can give it away now. You could sell it. You could, put it in your car and have it as a car knife. But I highly recommend you take advantage of the fact that this free knife, which is super solid and beautiful, come your way at my expense. So let's do this. Jim, let's bring it up. People put hashtag knife in the comments. 39 entries. All right, you 39 have a very good chance of winning this here Weppy Defense Master. All right. 44. All right, I'll give it one more minute. 45. All right, come on, people. Hashtag knife. Just throw it in the comments. Just do it real quick. Doesn't matter. You don't have to love it. You don't have to even like it. You could give this to your boss. Do a little brown nosing. Hey, Jim, I heard you like knives. Here you go. Or, hey, Kathy, I heard you are find the guy from IT creepy. Here, have this knife. Whatever it is, whatever your reason is, just put your name in there. Let's make the odds a little bit higher. Look, 50 people already. We've already gone up 52. I'm liking what I'm seeing. All right, hashtag knife, people. I'm going to give it one more minute, and I'll keep my eyes on my watch here. One more minute. Let's get as many hashtag knives in the comment as possible. I don't even care if you're in Australia, which I know some of you are. I will send it to you down there, and you can give it away down there or keep it down there. I hear you really need them down there because of the size of the insects and all the damn venomous snakes and the Gila monsters and all that stuff. But hey, say you're right here in the 50, I'll even send it to you in Europe. If you're in Europe, I'll send it to you. I'll just put on the thing. It's a men's grooming kit, and they might look, but probably they won't. So let's see, 15 seconds, and we're rolling the dice. 15 seconds. Hashtag knife. Let's do this. Let's get it up to 65 in the next 10 seconds. Come on, people, please. Hashtag knife. 5, 4. I guess we've reached saturation point. 2, 1. All right, let's roll it, Jim. Go for it. All right, it's going to slow down, and there will be a red herring or two, and then we will land on Autumn Wind. Mr. Autumn Wind, this is your knife now, sir. Karen, I know it came real close. Come back next week. Be sure to join us next week because we got a lot of knives to give away. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Gives me a lot of knives, and they're for me to give to you on this show. So Autumn Wind, this is yours. Be sure to send me your email address. Send me your mailing address at the email, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. Send me your address. I will get this out to you on the morrow, good sir. I will put that over there. And thank you all for appreciating and for joining in. Terminator Joe says, I actually drink mushroom tea today. It's better than I thought. I don't mind the umami flavor. I just was not convinced. I was like, if mushrooms were so great, people would have been drinking mushroom coffee forever, darling. And then I saw, I swear to God, you know how Instagram listens and then they pump your feed full of what they think you want to see. Well, I've gotten a lot of mushroom coffee ads recently. Lou says, Bob, you know my feelings about fungus Java, but I guess you got to make the wife happy. Yeah, Lou, you're talking to a veteran barista, though. When I was doing it, we weren't called baristas. We were just called guys who work at coffee shops. We didn't have the fancy moniker, but yeah, coffee's my favorite drink. I love coffee. I love it. I love coffee. And for me, the darker roast and the heavier, like I just like dark, heavy coffee at this point. Not bitter. That's why I don't tend to like African coffees that much. I love Indian coffees, the Mysore and the Monsoon Malabar. Jim is like, I just heard this lecture yesterday or 2 days ago because I was telling Jim. Actually, that was last week already. And I like the Costa Rican, Brazilian coffee. I like Colombian, of course. I'm not a commie. But and I like the Sulawesi. My parents always have Sulawesi, and that's really good. But it's got to be dark roasted to me. And we all know that dark roast coffee has the least amount of caffeine. That's why you can just drink so much of it. It's so tasty, and it has the least amount of caffeine because it cooks off, apparently. The longer you roast coffee, the more caffeine that cooks off, apparently. Angry Tom says, today I have my Spyderco Manix 2XL. I love that knife. It's like a pocket barong. And my new TPK traditional pocket knives, hedgehog, abalone scales with the gray slip. Is that the one? Is that the hedgehog with the drop point now? David Nephilim Slayer says, duty belt Lancer, pocket Spyderco military. Lancer. Kaiser? Oh, Lancer. That's a great knife. And I only started really wanting one of those after it was discontinued. That's a Dirk Pinkerton design. And you can get those custom made by him. That's a nice knife, man. I love that Lancer. Jacob Green. So you are a serviceman, or you do... Thank you for whatever you do. I have a feeling with a duty belt, you do something dangerous to protect your fellow citizens. So thank you for that, sir. Jacob Green, nice to have you here, Jacob. My pocket check was the BPS Bushmate 2.0. I like BPS. And did you see BPS? They're a company out of Ukraine. It's a father and son company. Teamed up with Bob Terzuola. They're making a Bob Terzuola knife. And it's either been released or it's been released for pre-order. And BPS knives are ordinarily like very inexpensive, like under $50, like a lot under $50. This is like 125 or something, more expensive than we expect from BPS, but it's a Terzuola design. So check that out. I've taken it fishing twice. By the way, I love them. I have two BPS knives. I love them. I've taken it fishing twice and use it to trim some cacti and my grandparents. Insane value for the price. Yeah, really awesome. They use a steel I don't recognize, like 1066 or something like that. But I have two. I have the little Scandi. They're both Scandi. One is called the HK5. That's the bigger one, and I keep that in my little haversack. I keep that in here with all my fire starting stuff and some camping stuff. And then I keep the other one in my case over there. But I've used them a lot. I feel like because they're so inexpensive, I use them a lot more than maybe some other stuff that it doesn't really make sense, but that's how it is. You know, it's kind of like, well, the more expensive stuff can really take abuse. You should use your stuff. But yeah, something about those BPS knives. OG Blade Reviews. My Carry Concept Eagle Strike. Concept Medusa Push Dagger. That is cool. So I saw that picture you put up today of it. Civivi Socken Fixie. Socken? Microtech Combat Troodon Gen 3 Tonto. BRS Blade Runners Thresher. That's a cool one. XL. That's designed by Michael Gavick, Gavco Knives. D-Rocket Zulu out the front. That's another beauty. And the American Tomahawk Trench Club. Woo, dude. Nicely done. That's cool. It's got all the studs on it. It looks like an ancient weapon. And as we get to this next comment, I'm going to show you two knives I got. Let's see. I got the Sencut Squiggy. Not that Squiggy. Not Lenny and Squiggy. James Hart says, I went out today, so in my EDC bag, I had my Swiss Army knife, Deluxe Tinker. Love the Tinker. Gerber multi-tool with full-size pliers, Cold Steel Voyager drop point, 4-inch blade. Perfectly rounded out carry there. Sencut Squiggy, this is a 3.89-inch 9CR 18 MOV blade, deep hollow grind, super thin, great jimping, great handle. In pictures, it turned me off with this double layer squiggly line G10. In person, I like it a lot. As a matter of fact, the day I got this, I used it for a whole bunch of boxes, opening and then breakdown. It was a big Amazon day here in the DeMarco household. And this was the knife I had on me. I had already changed into my home sort of workout shorts, didn't put a knife in my pocket. I know, crazy. But opened this, and so this rode with me. So that's got a lot of use right up front, and I really like it. A little ugly, if I'm being honest. I'm not a huge fan of the squiggly line. I showed my wife. She thought it was cool. She thought it looked like a shark. I reposted with or repost, whatever that word is, with it looks like an orca to me, but she's right. It looks more like a shark. But the black and white made me think of an orca. Really, really cool. And then also in the box with this was the O-Stop Hell designed. Oh, sadly, that's the bottom of the water. I'm thirsty as hell. Right here. The Civivi Hid. Weird name, but this is a cool knife. So this is very thin, a very tall, flat ground. What is this? 14C28N blade, of course, bearings and all the rest. But you've got a nice fuller there for middle finger flicking, open, and a great handle, much thinner than the blade itself. And so you can clear your knuckles and cut with this. This would be a great camping knife, food prep knife and around the camp knife. It's orange, blaze orange, of course. So if you drop it, unless it's like the height of autumn, you're going to find it immediately. In autumn, you might have to look for a minute because it's bright orange. But a great, it's almost like a Santoku style blade. So great for all sorts of cooking utility. I use this for one thing so far, and that was slicing cucumbers. And, it did an incredible job. It's super thin. Look at the steel is thinner than the squiggy and taller. So, you get super, super slicing capability out of this. I really like this Hid knife. So these two just came to me this past week, and I will be doing close-up videos on both of those so you can check them out. Oh, yes. And then these came today. As I walked in the door, I found a package with the new Stinger XL from Off Grid Knives. And here's a postcard. Carrie always writes a little handwritten note, which I appreciate. Yo, Bob, the new Stinger XL drop points. The first ones were spear points that were saber ground. The new Stinger XL drop points are here. These will serve you well in your many knife fights. Enjoy, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. So thoughtful to think of me during those knife fights. It's not a big deal, but I appreciate it. Knife fighting, it's just kind of what we do. So here is the Coyote version. We will be giving one of these away to a lucky gentleman junkie coming up here soon. And since I have so many of the Coyote, I should probably give one away. Last time we gave away a black off-grid knives, so we'll give away a Coyote. Look at this beaut. This thing is gorgeous. Again, a nice flat, full height flat grind on this. The original, the first version of the Stinger XL had a medial ridge, and it looked like a dagger, a single-sided dagger, and it had a saber grind. So there's that, and then I'll show you the blackout version. These knives are so damn cool. If you've never had an off-grid knife, I highly recommend them. They are awesome. They are some of the sharpest knives and some of the best for cardboard cutting ever. And I know that's kind of a niche use, but we tend to do a lot of cardboard cutting in this day and age. And even their most oblique angled knife, which could be the Stinger XL with the saber grind, zips through cardboard like it's not even there. I mean, these things are so good at that purpose. But here you got a nice long row of jimping. Fully extend the thumb and still be engaging that jimping. A contoured G10 handle, slightly contoured with big, wide chamfering, which really gives it a nice rounded, comfortable feel in hand. But it's flat enough on these scales that it's not going to turn. It's not going to turn in your hand like it's something super contoured. So really, really nice. They put a filler tab in there, standoffs, flow through construction, as some people are fond of saying. And then this beautiful Coyote coloration, and then the all black blackout configuration. Great knives showed up on my doorstep today. The full flat ground off-grid Stinger. But he's not calling it that. They're calling it the off-grid Stinger XL drop point. All right, that's got to last me. Okay. Terminator Joe, in my pockets, an Espada, a Mayhem, a Black Talon 2 serrated, nice choice, and a 5 Max, all cold steel. That 5 Max, I got to say, I hadn't been tempted by the 5 Max until I saw Scab from Choir Boys Cutlery using his to cut his sandwich today. It looked so cool. That 5 Max is pretty sweet. Jacob Green says, my knife collection in 5 words. More? Yes. More? Still, yes. I like that, Jacob. That's a good bit of justification there. Paul Mills, TRM Atom and Bug Out today. Very nice choice. I almost carried my Atom the other day. I haven't carried that knife in a long time. And then something else, I don't remember. Something else tempted me away. Don't remember. Jesse says the Civivi Incindy and the Matriarch 2. Which one is the Incindy? I'm pretty sure I don't have that one. Canary SK, or Canaries K. Good to have you here, Canary. Dalton Devil's Talon. Dalton, those are switchblades. He makes some really cool switchblades, I gotta say, or automatic knives. Dalton, what's his first name? What's Dalton's first name? Oh, look at this. I just realized these Stinger XLs come with an extra clip. Huh. Very cool. And extra hardware to boot. Very nice. Thomas McDonald says, Civivi Sentinel Strike 1. I love that knife. I love the 2 even better, but I love the Sentinel Strike in general. In Damascus, Tack Knives Benji Warncliffe out the front, and a Rovi Von A2 flashlight. Nice carry, Thomas. Got to take care of that beautiful family, don't you? Adrian Sanchez. Is that you, Adrian? I knew you were a fan of the show, Adrian. Today's carry was the Cold Steel Voyager Tonto, plain edge, and the Double Agent 2 Bowie style, serrated neck edge for neck carry. Okay, I've got both of these, except reversed. I've got a a serrated XL Tonto Voyager, and I've got the plain edge double agent Bowie. So we're like brothers. Mike B. Skaten. I gotcha. Mike B. Skaten. Mike, good to have you here, sir. Just got my smash it last week. Inspired by you, Bob. It's badass. Well, here. Where is it? Where did I put it? Right here. I salute you, sir. I salute you. Such a great knife. Really good sheath, too. Comes in and out real easy. You know, it's not, I don't like it when fixed blades, you really have to hold and tug. This maybe could be use a little more retention, but it does have the strap and the weight also keeping it from being too easily removed. But excellent. I'm very glad you got it. I'm glad you like it. And I'm glad I could lead you to it. Scott, nice to have you here, Scott. Hi, everyone. Hello to you, Scott, in your cool Norman helmet. What kind of helmet is that? Mike says Riot XOM and the Exceed Designs Tyrant Razor. That sounds freaking cool. Were my work carried today. I don't know what that is. Exceed Designs Tyrant Razor. The Riot XO is pretty cool, though. Split and slice and M. What does that mean? I mean, I know it's the regular one, but does that designate what blade it is? Split and Slices says, carry was the Cold Steel Recon 1 Tonto, Tempest Knives, Kubi Dust Devil, a.k.a. Canadian belt knife-esque, right? I remember that one. And Pine Knot Colonial Stockman. Pine Knot. Okay, so it's made by Colonial, and Pine Knot is a sub-brand, or is that the model? Maybe it's the model, actually. Have a Knife Day says, for you, kukri check. For your kukri check out. I'm sorry. For you, kukri, check out Black Bear Custom Kydex and have a leather clad. Oh, they have a leather clad option. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. Ooh. Knives and pizza. Oh my God. Two of my favorite things. I know I said that last time you were here. I love pizza. Knife Junkie, do you still own the Spartan Harsey dagger? Yes, I do. Indeed, I do. That thing is awesome, and you're like the only person I have a video of it. Really, I should do more. If no one else has that, I mean, that is a great knife. Love that knife, and I have it in the Chattanooga Leatherworks sheath, and that, man, they make beautiful sheaths. Craig Vincent says Cold Steel 3V AD10, AD10 Tonto Light, or AD10 Light Tonto, Swift 3 Vaquero Serrated. So those are all Cold Steels. Kaiser Militaw, Manganas Purple Haze, very nice Kaimano. Benchmade Presidio 2, Para 3 Lightweight Magna Cut, and Open L number 9. So just taking it up one step above the 8. But the 8 is kind of the standard version. I have an 8. I have a 10 that I've done all sorts of handle stuff to, and then a 13, which is a pretty damn big one that I just totally messed up trying to make it look cool. Jacob Green says buying knives on eBay is a sniper's game. Yeah, that's why I always hit the filter, buy it now and used. Pretty much is what I do. Mike Hauser says today's knife is the Tekel Night Stalker CQC, and I have a confession. Chronologically, I'm a full-grown man that was afeared of the double edge. Now, single-edge blades just seem incomplete. Oh, Mike, you are singing the song of my heart, sir. Singing my song. That CQC version, that's the one that's got the zero ground swedge on it, right? Just like the Gideon V3, this very generously gifted to me by Jammin Parker. But that's got that sort of Cold Steel style swedge, and by that I mean a lot of their Bowies have this. It's not sharp enough you're going to be slicing cheese, but for tactical close-in work, it'll do just great. Big fan of this knife. Thank you, Jammin. I do appreciate it. Just don't try flipping it around like that. You will hurt yourself on that spike. Bobby Rains, nice to have you here, Bobby. Evening, everyone. Running late tonight. Well, better late than never. I like that. I love the Bowie in your avatar there. Kyle Kunley says, that's the Ferrari Roma. Yeah, it looks like a Jag with extra chromosomes. Yeah, that's I'd never seen one until today, and the guy driving it totally busted me. Kind of like, oh, what's that? And he was kind of like, yeah, and I'm like, what? Are you trying to date me? But anyway, beautiful car. It was in white, and that's cool. That's totally cool. You buy a Ferrari, you can do whatever you want. But if you buy a Ferrari and it's not red, really? Just tell me, please, just tell me that you have another one at home that is red, and this is your other one, and that's why it's not red. That's just how I feel about it. You might have a different opinion, but it is wrong. Ferrari should be in red. Thomas McDonald says, lots of Kershaw auto clones, really, on the Zon. Medford Amphibian for $50 or so. Lots of Benchmade bug out clones on Amazon too. Ugh, that's gross. Raisin amazing. Nice to have you here, Raisin. I'm bored. I buy knives. Yes, that's a good way to deal with your boredom. Raisin amazing. I like your name, and it's a little quirky. Do you have any raisins? Inside joke with my wife. I'm sorry, Jim. Go back to James if you would. And then we got Gary Bucco. James says, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you, sir. Yes, smash that like button. And thank you, Jim. Gary Bucco says, I've been collecting knives since about age 10, and I haven't sold a single one. I have broken them, lost them, given them away. That's a good thing to do, to friends and family and anyone I thought needed one. Never sold one. Well, Gary, I admire that. I really wish I could sell more. Every once in a while, I'll sell one off. But no one seems to be buying what I'm selling. And that's because I'm not selling the super sweet stuff. Dion Page says, hello, King Junkie, Jim, and all you junkies. Dion, it's nice to have you here, man. Long time friend of the show. Dickie6. Oh, yeah. Dickie, good to have you here, man. Craig Vincent says, Knife Journey? That's just silly. It should be Blade Voyage. Yes, I agree. It should be Blade Voyage. David Nephilim Slayer says, if anyone needs a home for a 1964 Ferrari 250, I'll make room in my garage and ensure Ferris and Cameron never get the key. Oh, is that what they had? A 250? Mine, if I could have any Ferrari, well, that's a stupid. If I could have any three Ferraris, it would be a 512 BB, Berlinetta Boxer. I love that. I love that car. It would be the Ferrari Daytona. And then I think the last one, I'm a child of the 80s. I would say Testarossa, but I think I would go for something else. A Dino. Of course, a Dino. I would get a Dino. A Dino, a 512 Berlinetta Boxer, and a Daytona. Just in case anyone's listening, Dino, please. Okay. I didn't mean to misstep there. Mr. Greg T, have you seen Lucas Emerson's knives? Ernest's son. Yes. I love his kukri, and then he's got that new one, that clip point that's out. That's pretty cool too. I guess it was his birthday today. I just happened to see someone post that. So yeah, he looks like Ernest Emerson's son. He's like a young dude. Looks stout of heart, and he looks like an all-American kid. Dickie6, I love all knives for the most part. I'm like you, man. Me too. My favorite stuff are fighting knives, military knives, combat knives, that kind of thing. But love me the little slip joints. Even this one, I've been carrying this a lot recently. Men's grooming kit, says Loser. Yep, that's my customs description all the time. I love this little thing from Rosecraft Blades. Carry this a lot. Oh my gosh, let me show you this. This was part of a trade, totally thrown in unexpectedly by Strings when I traded for the Boker Bowie, Arbolito Bowie. He threw this in there. This thing is awesome. This little knife. So before Easter, we got a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of huge big boxes. We got furniture, we got all sorts of stuff. And my sister was here and she was helping with all that. And I used this to break down every single one of the big ass boxes we had. And it was awesome. This is Nuck Knives. And I can't remember what this little knife is called, but it's you can find it on Amazon for not very much. And this thing was awesome. It's hollow ground D2 and barely, I just touched it up. It barely dulled at all. Okay, Jim, I think I missed a whole bunch of comments there. But yeah, this knife is tremendous. I highly recommend it. It's very inexpensive. And thanks, Strings, for throwing this in. This was not a part of our deal, but you just threw it in. Another one that I've used a lot recently, Scott, I love coffee, Java Lava. Yes, sir. Is this core standard, what do they call this? Standard issue knife. Doug Bull says, Bob, for anyone interested in applying an old antique patina, I do the following. Apply cold liquid, then wipe down with CLR to stabilize the finish. Only apply to iron and never stainless. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's a great tip. Thanks, Doug. I've done white vinegar. I've done a couple of different things to force patinas, but I've never come up with a codified system like you have. Codis Fact Search. Good to have you here, Codis. Blades don't need reloading. Exactly, sir. Couldn't have said it better. This core knives, or this core standard issue knife is great. Now, this is the business end. I haven't used this blade much. I've used it a little bit, but this is the one I've used a lot of with cardboard. Here, I'll show you. The other side has a blade, another blade, and you can see the wear on it. I love the angle it comes out at, and it's a pretty stout, what do you call it, bevel there. And this thing just goes through cardboard like it's going out of style. So I've really been liking this. Again, review of this one forthcoming, and I've put a lot of use, a pretty good amount of use on it anyway. And this is the belt Core sent me. Core Essentials. This is an EDC like gun belt. Oh my gosh, I love this thing because check this out. Basically, here, I'll put it up here. You can see it's got all the different sizes. I am actually more of a 34, but I didn't want to cut it down too short. It goes out to like 46 or something. I cut off a bunch, and then you just clamp it down here and screw that in there. And then you have this. And the cool part about it is that you've got all these micro adjustments here. So you put it in like this, and you can just, you can micro adjust it by like 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. And this is really great if you're eating a big meal and you start to feel like you want to loosen your belt, but you don't want to take your belt off. You can just press this button in and loosen it by increments of 1/4 inch. Wait, 1/4 inch? I guess for all intents and purposes, yeah, 1/4 inch. And oh my God, I love this belt. It's awesome. This is another thing I have to do a video on. Yeah, I love it. Pocket Candy Randy, good to have you here, Pocket. Or good to have you here, Randy, pocketing my Protean Sunburst Warney today. So the Protean, that's a Princeton Wong knife. That's a cool knife, man. That's a classy gentleman who knows carries that knife. That's a cool one. Terminator Joe says, better to have 100 knives and not need it, or need it and not have it when fighting a gorilla. Yeah, obviously 100 men could beat a gorilla. The first 30 or 40 are going to get like utterly and probably unrecognizably mangled, but eventually, the wave of humanity will take out the gorilla. Apparently, they tire somewhat quickly because they're big and bulky. I've done some research, and I know a lot of people have interesting little meme to go through society like that. James Hart says BPS knives, for the most part, are made with 1066 high carbon steel. I have 2 BPS knives. Yeah, 1066, pretty good. It chips out. I mean, mine have definitely chipped, but it also sharpens easily. Autumn Wind, thanks, Bob. Looking forward to putting it to use. Much appreciated. My pleasure. And don't only thank me, thank Dave too. OG Blade Reviews, Dave. Over Under Pull, nice to have you here, Over Under. Enjoy Thursday night. Thank you. Oh, thank you, man. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here next Thursday. Craig Vincent says, I helped a buddy negotiate a great deal on a CX90 this week with an artful use of pocket knife bribery. Wait, what's a CX90? I was like a showroom Oprah with the managers and staff. You get a knife, you get a knife. Oh, that's awesome. CX90. Is that a Mazda? That sounds like a Mazda. Jeff Aff, nice to have you here, Jeff. New to budget EDC folders. I've been carrying mostly Gerber, but just picked up a CJRB Pyrite. That is a nice upgrade, man. I love the Pyrite. Pyrite Alt, Civivi Mini Praxis. Yes, you're doing it right, Jeff. And a Real Steel Sacra this week. I don't know the Sacra, but Real Steel is a nice knife. Any must-have budget EDC folders you recommend? Well, I mean, I got to say, the Civivi Praxis would have been something I would say for sure. I love Civivi. Anything from Civivi is great. Hey, I was just recommending this, and it's you can get it for inexpensive on Amazon, and I haven't heard much about it. I remember when they first came out, but I haven't heard much about it since. But I happen to know through tons of concentrated use over 2 weekends, this knife kicks ass. This knife kicks ass. It's really stout and sturdy. I horsed it through all manner of cardboard, and it just kept going. Very sharp, zipped through everything with the hollow grind and the D2 blade, and it has a great heat treat. It barely needed touching up, and I just did it just to do it. So this is a NUK, NUK something, but there aren't too many NUK knives. You'll recognize it when you see it. There are a lot of you should probably get a rat. Get an Ontario rat, 1 or 2. The 1 is probably larger than what you want, just judging from the other knives, because that's like a 3.6-inch blade. But the rat 2 by Ontario Knife and Knife Company has got a 3-inch blade. It's great. It's one of those, like, it's a classic of EDC. People have been talking about how great that knife is for 15 years. It's a definite must-have. There are a lot of definite must-haves, but check that out. Also, Spyderco Tenacious. That's a great way to get into. Well, it's a great way to get into a Spyderco and see how great the quality of their production is. And this is one of their inexpensive line. So Tenacious by Spyderco. Check that out. There are a lot of great knives, though. Gary Bucco says, find me today. I had my trusty Ontario Knife Company SP8 survival machete. Very nice. That's the one with the flat tip, right? It's like a chisel. Am I right about that? The Bark River Cub, great knife. And my emotional support knife was my EDC Hogtooth Tonto. Gary Bucco representing. Yes, sir. I love that knife, and I don't have it out here. I don't have any Hogtooth knife out here. Actually, I meant to pull out the sub-hilt fighter, and I guess I didn't. But yeah, Hogtooth knives, some of my favorite knives. Matt Chase is a great guy. Funny thing is, Matt Chase, he's a great. That squiggy looks like a glizzy. Matt Chase is a former Marine Corps Scout sniper. He's a knife maker. He's a burly dude, very nice, kind of lives in the mountains. And I just interviewed, or I didn't interview, but I produced a show at work on which a guy named Matthew Chase was interviewed. And he was like the opposite day version of Matt Chase that I know and love. Not that this guy was a bad guy or anything, but just like totally different type of guy, like in all ways. So it was kind of funny to have the same name and we're so different. Thomas McDonald says Squiggly looks cool. It is called the Squiggy though, like Lenny and Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley. But yeah, it does have a squiggly line. Hid is a kitchen beast, no doubt, and a camping essential maybe. I mean, that's a 4 1/4 inch blade. It's a big blade, and obviously a nice big handle to accommodate that. Northern Knives. I see the ass end of a 3-dog knife Mac in the overhead cam. Good eyes. I have a Cerakoted version shipping out to you soon. Oh, cool. Mike is talking about this. This is the 3-dog knife Mac, which he so generously gifted to me. And he said, keep it for yourself or give it away. And I said, I'll keep it for myself, but maybe we can give another one. Or he offered, and if you want to give it away, I'll send you another one so we can give the other one away. But this one is mine. I love this knife. 3-dog knife. This is M390, made up in Anchorage, Alaska at Northern Knives. This is one of their production knives. And man alive, is this sweet. And then the sheath, they hire a sheath maker named D. Johnson, and this sheath is incredible. Such a good sheath. And it's broken in perfectly, where at first it was really hard to pull in and out. Now it's gotten nice and, it'll retain, but takes very little to pull it out. Great knife. Yes, good eye, sir. I'm going to put that out there in the knife cam. Angry Tom's Hat next door says, I can justify my knife collection. I drank and did drugs for a long time. I have 8 years clean knife collecting, and hobby takes me away from all that. It keeps my head where it needs to be. Angry Tom, that's inspirational, man. You don't need me to say this, but keep at it. That's beautiful. And it's people like you who have, gone through / put yourself through certain kind of storms, and you come out on the other side and it makes you wiser. And I admire that greatly. So well done, sir. And you landed on your feet collecting these great things. Loser says, Bob, I have a few off-grid knives and they list a lot of their coatings as DLC. Do you think it's real DLC? Yeah, I do. But it's usually tumbled DLC. So they DLC it and then they tumble it. I have not had, I use my off-grid knives, a lot around the house. They are definitely go-to, especially because I, forgive the expression, kind of broke the cherry on them. And I just keep using them because there are other knives that I want to keep pristine. And Dalton's first name is Rob. Thank you. I probably said something else. But yeah, I've used a lot of my black coated off-grid knives. And yeah, if he says it's DLC, I trust and believe him. But just so you know, they're usually tumbled, so they don't look like pristine DLC. Jeremy Nedro says Spyderco Military 2 in 15V and the Kunwu Pulsar XL. That is a cool looking knife. I like the Pulsar. Ed says carried the wee mini Malice. It sings every time I deploy it. I love that when it ding, you get a little ding. Mike is making stuff. Mike, good to have you here, man. Hey, all, first time joining. Oh, Mike, you got to join us again next week. Come a little bit earlier. We gave away a knife tonight. We give away a knife almost every time because Dave of OG Blade Reviews sends me boxes of knives to give away. He's got a sprawling collection that he can't manage, so he sends some, and I got to give them away. So join us for that, but also lots of talk, pocket checks, Yeah, we have a great time here, so I'm glad you're joining us. Dion Page says Nova 2, excellent choice, sir. The Knife Junkie designed Nova 2, made by Hogtooth Knives. The Spike Bowie, the 4-inch tie light, the big ass Swiss Army knife, ready for duty today. Awesome, Dion. Nicely done. Mike says, I make tools and knives, but I might be laughed at for my EDC. I carry a Gerber multi-tool, but a second Schrade push knife. First of all, no, you wouldn't be laughed at. Gerber makes great multi-tools. As a matter of fact, I think of all of the pocket stuff they make, their multi-tools are probably my favorite. But a second Schrade push knife. I didn't know Schrade made a push knife. Like a push dagger. Is that it? Good EDC, especially you're a tool maker. You need a tool on you like the Gerber. My first multi-tool was a Gerber, and it had the things where you pinch and then you slide it, and the whole thing locks out. It was pretty cool. Ghost Keeper says Kaiser Bulldog and Concept Convict. That's one of those names, man. It's like the Kaiser Assassin. It's like you don't want to call it the Convict because you might be one if you use it. You got to be careful with those names. Mike B. Skaten says the XOM is the medium-sized one. The Exceed Designs Tyrant Razor is a titanium frame lock flipper that takes, utility blades. It started my high-end utility knife sub-collection. I think you may have mentioned this last week, that you have a high-end utility knife sub-collection. And by the way, I fully endorse the concept and the use of the word sub-collection because we all have collections, and then within them, like I have a Cold Steel collection, I have a Civivi collection, I have a custom fixed blade knife collection. That's not so much of a sub, but you know what I'm saying. I definitely have a TKL Knives sub collection. Northern Knives says, I just had a customer's Kershaw Auto clone close on my finger while buffing it the other day. That sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. Why is it always shit knives that injure me? Because they're shit knives. I never get cut by a Shiro, just Mall Ninja trash. By quality. Yep, and Mike knows. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's around a whole myriad of knives all day, every day. And yeah, don't, save up your shekels and then buy something nice. Though this is me talking. I know I've done a lot of impulsive buying over the years. Jerry C says, just got a new Cold Steel SRK, and this one has partial serrations on a CRK. Wait, SRK. I've never seen that. Maybe you have a clone here, sir. I'm not a big serrations fan, but it looks so damn good on the SRK 6-inch blade. I love it. I can honestly say I've never seen an SRK with a partially serrated blade. I got to check that out because I am a serrate. I like serrations. I know a lot of people turn their nose up at them, but this knife, look at that. Great serrations. Kyle Kunley, first, the F50, 2, the LaFerrari, and 3, a retro with gated. I don't know what that means. But the F50, I remember the F50 with that big wing. That came out in the 90s, early 90s maybe. And the LaFerrari was kind of the answer to that later on, I believe, if I'm correct. And then I didn't know the last one. But it's good to have your top 3 Ferraris just ready at hand, just in case someone comes up and offers. How cool would that be? I think of all of them that I mentioned, I think it would be hard to say no to a Daytona. The Dino is sweet. The 512 is sweet, but the Daytona is just the classiest. And I love that long hood with the V12 in it. James Hart says, I'm getting to the point where a knife really has to get my attention. Yeah, I'm kind of there too. So for my birthday, which is tomorrow, happy birthday, James. I bought a kukri from Kukri House, Themel. A kukri with a D guard. Oh, that's cool. James, very, very happy birthday to you, sir. I'm going to salute you with a big Bowie knife. This is for you, man. Happy birthday. I hope it's a wonderful year. I hope it's your best year yet. And we'll see you next week. Let us know how your birthday went. Knife Nut 69. Good to have you here, Knife Nut. Hello, everyone. To answer the thumbnail, I do what I want. I love that. We've had a lot of independent voices like yours, Knife Nut, who has said the very same thing. And I like that. It's like, stop asking. Why do I have to justify it? Ira says, I like using mustard for stain on carbon because I can make little designs in it. Yay! Yeah, I like that. David Helka, nice to have you here, David. Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you, David. Good to have you here with us. Mike says, if I can ask a silly question, you guys are the pros. I know tools. I thought of making a nice knife, and I have a D2 tool steel. Good for tools, but for knives, you would know better than I. Mike, it is outstanding for knives. Now, I have a lot of D2 knives. This one just happens to be one I've used an incredible amount over the past couple of weekends, breaking down all sorts of boxes and crap and cutting straps. And it is so good. And it kept its edge so beautifully. When it came out, when it hit the scene like 10 to 12 years ago, it was like, ooh, D2, D2. And then over time, it's now become the budget steel. And people are like, oh, D2. But it is awesome steel. And all you need to do, go check out, since you're new to this, but you also make, check out Peterbilt Knife Guy on Instagram. I talk about him a lot. I love his videos on Instagram, but also on YouTube. And he tests a lot of knives, and he does this nail test where he'll mallet a blade through a nail, the same like 16 penny nail, same size, on a block of aluminum, just to test out blade steels. And he's had some pretty surprising results, and D2 does beautifully. And it almost doesn't matter what the company is and what the heat treat is. I mean, presuming the heat treat is good, the D2 steel just does so well. So don't let the steel snobs turn you off of D2. Go for it. Just check your heat treat. Make sure your heat treat is a good recipe. I don't know much about that, but the steel itself is awesome and proven. And just because it's now more affordable doesn't mean it isn't stupendous. Mike Hauser says, Core makes the best clickers, have 4 or 5. Great belts for on-off EDC. I have an infliction. I'm sorry. I have an infliction called Noacetal, and Core and Groove Life are the only 2 lines that keep my pants up with gear. Oh, interesting. An infliction called Noacetal. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but yeah, I really like the Core belt. My affliction is self-imposed, but still, I love how it allows for the micro adjustments. Terminator Joe says, when I was in the Core, thank you for your service, by the way. Love Marines, love the Marine Corps. I wasn't in it, but a lot of people close to me were. When I was in the Corps, the only knives they sold were CRKT and Gerber. I still have my old Gerber multi-tool since 2007. Very nice. Adrian Fighter says the SRK with serrations, is a Midway exclusive. I should go check that out. All right, guys, I'm starting to roll into the station here. We'll take a couple more comments, and then I will bid you a fond good night. Craig Vincent says, I picked up my first Swiss Army knife this week. A single-bladed ALOX. Nice. I love those. I love the ALOX knives, and I love the little single solos, I guess they call them. Along with a cold steel cutlass machete. Very cool. The Swiss Army knife is cool. The cutlass machete, well, there's no words that can adequately describe my joy. They make a cutlass of this. This is the 1918 Dutch Kluang, but that was also the last cutlass that was issued to U.S. Navy, and Cold Steel makes a version of it. You should check it out. It's a clip point. Mike says, sub-collections keep it interesting. The Smatch It may have opened a new rabbit hole. I've been eyeing a few. Yeah, check out the best knife for fighting a gorilla. Maybe this. This is the Wallace Bowie from APOC. Definitely a good one. Or the Waning Moon. Waning Moon Where is it? Oh, it's over there. Yadagon. Drew Dude, justify my ridiculous knife collection in 5 words or less. It's my wife's money. Right on. All right. Hey, that's a great note to end on. Have a great night, junkies. Bob, Jim, see y'all next week. Adrian, we will see you next week, sir. All right, all you guys and gals, thank you so much for joining me. I love Thursdays. It is such a good time. I love joining you guys and shooting it and chewing the fat and talking knives. I don't think I've met any of you in person, but I feel warmly towards you. I love you all. So if you're at Blade Show, come up, introduce yourself to me, and let me know what your handle is, so I know who I'm talking to. I really want to meet you guys if you're there. Coming up on Sunday, episode 592, it's Patrick Shipley of Cass Iberia and APOC. We were talking about the Smatchet, the Wallace Bowie, the DeMarco Bowie. This is the guy who makes them, so check it out. All right, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, don't take dull for an answer.